Hi friends, welcome back to my Golden Thimble. My name is Daphne and today I have a very exciting tutorial for you. If you sew with PDF sewing patterns, let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever known that you had the perfect pattern for a project but you couldn't find it? Or even worse, you double purchased it because you forgot you already had it? That totally happened to me twice. That's why today I'm going to show you exactly how I organize my digital sewing patterns step by step in a way that makes them easy to find and fun to browse for inspiration. This is a simple but a very organized filing system, but don't worry because you don't have to be techie at all to copy it from your own organization. Before we jump in, I do want to say something. The real problem with digital sewing patterns is usually not how many you have, it's that they are not organized in a way that makes sense when you actually want to sew. When we sit down to sew, we are not thinking about brand names or filing names, we are thinking about what we want to sew. So this is what is guiding our organization system. Who am I sewing for? What kind of project do I feel like making? And finally, how many resources will I need to do this? So let me show you how this actually looks like on the screen. Also, Pandora says hi. Let's go. Okay, so for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to show you an example of the filing system up to 3 levels. If you want to get the full list of each one of the categories and the subcategories, I'm going to leave you a link below with the blog, which has the full explanation of all 9 levels and their sublevels. Okay, so we are going to start with our main folder. This is going to be the mother folder of all, and this is going to be the folder labeled sewing patterns. Inside of sewing patterns, we will have at least 9 folders. This is the ones that I made for myself that are more or less the categories that I have for my sewing patterns. And I label them with numbers so I could have the order that I wanted, that I think it's the right order for me. If that makes sense, you can skip the numbers. You don't have to put them on, but I did put them just so I could have them ordered in the way that I wanted. Okay, so under here, I have women, men, kids and babies, accessories, which is basically headbands or necklaces, everything made with fabric or with a pattern that will be used as an accessory, even jewelry, bags, pets, home and decor, quilts, and seasonal. I will explain seasonal at the end because I do have like a rule for this, so stay put. Okay, so these folders are level 1. Okay, so I'm going to show you level 2, which will be inside of each one of these folders, which basically are the categories of garments or projects for each category of these. All right, so let me teach you with the first folder that I have, that is women. We open it and we have the subcategories for this folder. Here I have the different patterns that you can find. Now, of course, inside of these, you can have more subcategories before reaching to level 3 that I'm going to show you, but that's up to you. I didn't want to make it that complicated, but you can definitely do it. For example, if you have bottoms, you can pair it up for skirts to pants to shorts, leggings, things like that. Right now, I'm not gonna do that. I think you should definitely consider it if you want even more specific organization. Okay, so let me explain the folder index for you. Index for me is a folder basically filled with pictures of every single pattern that I will have in each category, in, let's say, women. And I'm going to take away a picture from the files, maybe a screenshot or maybe a final garment that I made, and I'm going to put it here with the name of the pattern. This is for when you want inspiration. So if you are not sure what you want to sew next and you just want a visual inspiration, or you want to know which patterns you actually have, but not going to read, you don't want to read each single file or jump from folder to folder, this is going to be the folder where everything is in a visual way. This is also going to help us to find our patterns easier inside of folders. Okay, so now the next level will be the actual patterns, and we are going to try to save them by the name of the pattern and the designer of the pattern. Here's an example of 2 of my patterns, which are Daisy Straps top and the Magnolia top, and I added a dash and my Golden Thimble, which is the brand of our sewing patterns. This is just to keep a track of where you got them. Okay, so the final level for each one of these patterns. Let me show you the example of my Azalea pajama set, which is by my Golden Thimble, of course. Inside of this file, which is the actual pattern folder, we will have 3 folders: the files, the instructions, and an extra file for notes, in which you can make a notes file and add literally anything you want about the pattern while you're sewing it, if you find that you need certain modifications, or which size you are, if you need to grade it, etc., etc., etc. Now, just as an extra add-on, let me show you what you can do if you are more of a visual sewist. You can add a folder that is all about inspiration. So in this folder, you will put pictures of maybe fabrics, maybe some pictures out of a magazine, of a runway, or something you want to use as an inspiration for this sewing pattern. You can put in here, and you will have a more visual way to actually get inspired for making this sewing pattern. And the reason why this works is because sometimes we have a stroke of inspiration very far away from our sewing machines. So if you find something online, you can screenshot it and put it in this folder so you can have it for when you actually want to sew this pattern. Okay, just for a final trick to finish this explanation, let's make an example for the seasonal sewing patterns, because I don't want you to be duplicating files here. So let's say we have a folder with a Christmas dog bandana sewing pattern, which is, of course, by my golden thimble. Okay, where will you put this pattern? On seasonal, which has obviously Christmas, Valentine's, blah, 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 or will you put it in pets? Okay, so the right answer is both, but you have to choose either one of them, because this is what we are going to do to not duplicate patterns. Let's say we have Christmas dog bandana sewing pattern, and I'm going to choose to put it on seasonal, all right? So on seasonal, it obviously goes under the Christmas folder. Now, once I have it there, what I want to create is a shortcut for this folder. We are not going to duplicate it. We are going to create a shortcut. For that, we are going to select that create shortcut folder. We are going to copy it, or we're going to delete it from here. So got it from here with Control X, and then we are going to go to pets and accessories, and I'm going to paste the Christmas shortcut for the bandana dog sewing pattern. So what this is going to do is take me to the folder on the Christmas seasonal main category. This way, we are not going to be duplicating folders or patterns again and again and creating more dead space on our hard drives, right? Okay, so remember that these folders are almost empty because this is an example. I am not using my real files just because I don't want to get you all confused, but I'm going to leave you the link where the full explanation is with every single folder and their subfolders. Okay, so this is basically it for this video. Please let me know in the comments if this filing system will work for you and if you are going to copy it, or what modifications will you make to make this more proficient. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch me, and I will see you on the next tutorial. Happy sewing!